Welcome back, guys. Josh here, Oreo Express. Hope you're having a fabulous day today. Thank you for tuning in. Want to say we appreciate you being here on our first show of the day. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. And you know what? It looks like looking at the chat, we have a birthday today. A birthday, Susan K. Spencer. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope everything's going well with you. And hopefully, it's full of blessings and another continued year of this MAGA year that we're having. C. Marsha's in the house, says, good morning, Micro Taz. How are you? Cade in Texas. Cade emailed me a picture of him in his Make Speech Free Again hat that he won in our last raffle. Thank you, Cade, for doing that. I appreciate you. Hunter from the Netherlands. And again, birthday girl, Susan K. Spencer. Let's see who else is in here. Kimber's in the house. Gangster Kimber. Trina, what's up? How are you doing? Deb V. And man, they're just popping in here. Old Uncle Bill. He made it in, guys. We could start the show. We've been on live for 35 minutes, and we've been waiting for old Uncle Bill. Now that he's arrived, and I'm already tired, we're going to go ahead and start the show. Hello, old Uncle Bill. Hope you're having a blessed day as well, and thank you, old Uncle Bill, for your support. And for all the mods, everybody that helps out with our chat. We can't do it without you guys. And we got two shows for you today. The first show, we're going to talk about, of course, what's dominating legacy media. Remember when I say legacy, that's the dying media that is funded by Big Pharma. Of course, tariffs. The country's going to go bankrupt now. When exactly what Trump is doing is preventing the United States from going bankrupt. We got some wokeness. We're going to cover some wokeness. We got some interesting stuff on the southern border. Looks like some Democrats are heading down to the southern border tomorrow. We're going to talk about this. But the big one, I don't know how many of you follow Laura Loomer. I've been following it. She's been throwing it out there, man, about people that are compromised in the Trump administration and upset that the people surrounding Trump are not like waving the red flag. Hey, hold on. This person was on Spygate and they're part of this person's administration. This ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. All kind of goodies. And it turns out, well, she went and met with Trump and there was some firings. God bless Laura Loomer. Thank you for all the work you do. You know, a lot of people, it's either a love-hate relationship with Laura Loomer. Again, we worked together when I was with Frontline America. If you guys remember, Laura Loomer was down there when me and Ben were down there when Laura and Ben got arrested for jumping the fence to the governor's mansion, asking for sanctuary that'd be 5-6 years ago, probably, right? And of course, those charges were dismissed, but it just showed the hypocrisy. And I always thought she was cool when I was around her, and I love some, you know, there's a thing, there's an independent journalism, there's an activist, and there's an investigative reporter. I think Laura Loomer fills all those categories and more. You know, like we're, again, here at Oreo Express, we started out in activism. We're for America first. We're for the children. We're for getting this pornography out of schools. We're for you folks, the American taxpayers, and closed borders. And we do all that stuff, but not to the extent Laura Loomer does. And I'm telling you right now, I have a feeling she'll be picked up by the Trump administration, at least to do their vetting and stuff. Let me turn this down. Turn that on silent right now. But we're going to talk about all that. Let me see. We got more folks in the chat. Let's see what we're going to start off. Oh, and more fallout for Fresno State for the story we exposed of the professor, the Marxist professor, was running up to us with a bullhorn again. How many people? Ginger didn't learn. How many people need to learn that this guy's only out here filming? Sometimes he's on a megaphone. He's never assaulted anyone, even though our next story, we're going to have a laugh off in our next show. You guys do not want to miss the next show. You got to see what they're saying about the Oreo me, Oreo Army Online. It's just hilarious. These people, these poor little soy boys that sit behind their computers and don't come out to the streets to have a conversation. We're going to do probably about a 30-minute segment on some of that on Blue Cry. On Blue Cry, there's stuff going around about me. Imagine that. But again, and we couldn't do this all earlier because, again, I screen record everything. I do background investigative journalism, find out who they're associated with, find out who their family members are, see if their kids are screw ups, all this stuff. And so we're going to get into some of that. Not much of that today because, again, when you compile all this information, it takes a while. UP True Breed made it. Man, we've been waiting on you all day. We've been live for 4 hours. So there's a post on the Oreo Express right now. If you go to the OreoExpress.com, let me pull this up. And again, it says Fresno State professor exposed, but it has an update on here. It says the impact of Schureck's actions has reverberated across Fresno State, most notably with the decision by the organizers of a 9/11 traveling exhibit to cancel their planned visit to the university. According to a post by KC24 News on April 3rd, 2025, the exhibit organizers explicitly cited Sharik's social media post, particularly the image of Trump in a coffin, as the reason for pulling out. This cancellation has directly affected Fresno State students who have lost the opportunity to engage with a significant educational resource. The 9/11 exhibit, which likely aimed to provide historical context and foster reflection on a pivotal moment in American history, was seen as a valuable learning experience, guys. Let me pull this up from our website right here and go to KC24's post and just show you some of this right here, man. It says, Fresno, California. The fallout continues after a Fresno State lecturer posted images on social media featuring an image showing President Donald Trump in a coffin and encouraging protest against Tesla owner Elon Musk. The organizers behind the 9/11 traveling exhibit say they do not want to come to the university after seeing the post. We're not going to risk anybody's lives in this exhibition. The staff and volunteers that help us do this, we're just not going to do it. The CEO of 9/11 Remembered Traveling Memorial, Eric Robertson, said. The group is dedicated to traveling across the nation, teaching the facts of what happened on September 11, 2001. They bring artifacts to people who may otherwise never make it to a museum on the other side of the country. And now they're crossing Fresno State off their list. Robertson says the traveling memorial just can't risk coming after seeing what Fresno State instructor Catherine Schureck posted online. It says one of her posts showed an edited picture of former presidents gathered around President Trump in a coffin, and another picture showed an edit of a tombstone with Trump's date of birth and the words listed, now would be good for the date of when he would die. So it says, Robertson says between these posts and her alleged encouragement for protest against Tesla, they think coming to the campus would be a bad idea. We consider this domestic terrorism. You go out and terrorize a private business. You go out and terrorize a community for extra credit for her own personal beliefs is unacceptable. We do think that our exhibition is a safe thing to have. We don't think our exhibition is a safe thing to have at Fresno State. He says he wants the school to let Schureck go and says the statement against her post wasn't strong enough. And then it says Fresno State provided this statement. It says, we strongly condemn the abhorrent social media posts and comments made by one of the part-time instructors. They do not represent our university in any way. Fresno State firmly denounces wishes of death against any elected official, particularly the President of the United States. These go against our core educational values and are not consistent with our principles of community. Says the group says they plan to come to California sometime in 2026, but it's not clear when they plan to come to Fresno State or where on campus they would have set up. So you know what? I think that would be interesting. I've been to the 9/11 memorial. What a horrific day for America. And how sad for those students that because of Fresno State's decision to keep this Marxist professor that's calling for the death of a president on their staff, instead of doing what's wrong, what's right, um, it could have some pretty long-term effects. I mean, this is reaching out to 2026 when this 9/11 exhibit would have been there in Fresno. And again, a lot of this is thanks to you guys exposing this. Without you guys sharing, without you guys watching the live streams, without you guys funding us, this would have never been brought to light. And so for that, we want to say thank you and we appreciate you. Let's see what else we have. You know, I'm not going to bring up the blue sky stuff. I'll give you just a little preview. This is, oh, we're getting some notifications. I love this. MAGA moron alert. We'll get into all this and spitting on people and harassing protesters is what you do. You're a coward. Look at you, tough guy, replying to a 4-month-old post. These people are just so sad. So I created an account on Blue Sky just to troll people. And I put up a post 4 months ago. And it was this right here. Let me see if my iPad's charged. It's the same picture I have on my iPad. I don't think it's charged. I need to add that to my to-do list. It's dead. But it says, if you're born with a dick, you're not a chick. And it's the Cat in the Hat. And it stayed up there for a long time. But I'm not going to ruin it now. We're going to show you what all these cowards we let them talk. We let them talk. Let me know where you live. I'm going to talk to people in your community and find out more on you. Maybe do a story on you. So we'll talk about that later. So MSNBC says Trump tariffs are all bad, guys, all bad. Let's take a listen to this.
Election, and I want to just show you because Trump's got a bunch.
Can you walk us through the numbers? And is there any positive take on this?
Well, I can answer the second question first. I don't think there's a single positive take on this. This is all just bad. It's bad, as we talked about before, for inflation. It's bad for economic growth. It's bad for everything. But let me put this a little bit in perspective. We talked about the stock market today and how bad a day it's going to have. This chart predates that, and it goes back really to the election. And I want to just show you, because Trump's got a bunch, as we also talked briefly about before, of other economic and challenges he's facing. And so the stock market, which is this red line, our stock market, we start out here. And he was doing pretty well after the election. There was this burst of Trump euphoria, as we saw in 2016 as well. But since Inauguration Day, it has basically been straight down for our stock market. And that is a combination of anticipation of these tariffs, but also just all the chaos and commotion down there, the cutting, the Doge, all this stuff and the uncertainty has really scared the market. And that's actually in stark contrast. China, which has had a terrible run in its stock market, has actually done exceptionally well. And even Europe, which is certainly nothing to brag about.
I just want to show you that. Yeah, you notice how China's doing so good? You notice that China has tariffs on us? They don't want to let you know that, do they?
About on the economic front has way outperformed us. So Trump had a set of challenges already as represented by the stock market before. And again, before yesterday, because we don't have updated numbers just yet, economists were taking down their projections for the economy for this year. So Goldman Sachs thinks that unemployment, which they thought was going to be 4%, they now think is going to be 4.5%. And these numbers are going to get worse when they put out a new forecast.
That's right. And the reason why, and this is what they're doing. They're speaking to the uneducated person. Yes, when you lay off hundreds of thousands of federal employees, which is what we required Trump to do. We sent a mandate to Washington, D.C. for him to do that. We want to see those numbers. We want to see them go get a real job in the private sector. We don't want them to be paid for with our tax dollars.
Inflation, which they thought was going to be between 2 and 2.5%, they now think is going to be almost 3.5%.
Can you walk us through the numbers?
They think.
And is there any
They think. You notice that? Not this is what inflation was. And there was a lot of that. I want to show you some of this other stuff. My senator, Alex Padilla, and I don't like to say that, but again, in California, with a population of what we do, we should really be 3 states. It's a state that we get 2 senators. They're always going to be leftist, and they're always going to be Marxist for that. But Trump promised to lower costs, and we're going to say we've saved this. It says instead he's implementing a massive tax hike on all our goods and calling it Liberation Day. Let's call it what it really is, Trump Tax Day. And I just find this just amazing. It says Trump's trade war cost to the state economy. It says $33.73 billion to the state economy. You know what's interesting? Alex Padilla didn't care about the 9.6, not B, trillion. Was it trillion? I don't know. 9.6. Let me look. I'm going to look it up. Illegal. I talk about it so much that I got to look at my own post. Where'd it go? It's not even pulling up. Here, let me do this. Then we'll go through the rest of that. Maybe it is trillion. Maybe my brain's just not. Okay, spending approximately $9.5 billion. So billion. Now let's go back to this right here. So he wasn't concerned about spending $9.5 billion, Senator Alex Padilla, when it came to this here, when it came to illegal aliens. Like literally, you crossed into the border illegally. Don't matter if you're a gang member, a rapist, or murderer. We're going to take care of your health. We got the homeless out there with no health insurance. We got many Californians that can't afford the state-sponsored health care. Look at it says jobs effective 730,000. Key industry is technology. Cost per family $6,400. Now, I live in California. I'll let you know if any of those come true. We're up and down the state of California. We know they won't come true. And again, this is what they do to scare people. Again, they won't be held accountable for their lies. But when it said jobs affected, why were they not upset of what was it? Just in a few months, the 19,000 fast food jobs that went under because we raised our minimum wage to somebody rolling a burrito or flipping a hamburger at McDonald's to $20 an hour, which then raised the price to all consumers, those low-income consumers. They have to pay 15% more for their kids' Happy Meal now. That all adds up. Again, they're not trying. They never attack the rich people. All these people say, we got to go after the billionaires. All their policies are constantly attacking the middle class and lower. Let's see what else we got here. I want you to watch this because, again, we've been in a decline, a long decline. I've drove this country. I've stopped in many towns. I want you to watch this right here.
American jobs lost due to NAFTA.
Flint, Michigan.
Now here's what's left of the area around the once sprawling Delphi facility in Flint, Michigan, the birthplace of General Motors, Delphi's one-time parent company. And it's not just Flint. A recent study estimates that the total number of American jobs lost due to NAFTA is about 1 million. And Delphi is now one of Mexico's largest employers, with about 50 factories south of the border.
They shut right down and tore it down and took our jobs and put them over in Mexico and paid them people peanuts. Flint used to be Motor City. It's no longer Motor City. Where's all the motor? What about the kids here that are going hungry? They're not worried about those kids, obviously, and that's the kids they should be worried about. They shouldn't be worried about what's happening in some other country.
Yeah, and many places. I remember. Let me pull something out if I can remember how to spell it. I actually have video of this I should put together. Wish it wouldn't do automatic spell check. When I went through, what was it, Charleroi, Pennsylvania, where they had all those Haitians that were just dropped off, taking over. Charleroi used to be the hub for glass production, multiple factories, steel production. When I drove by along the river, I don't know what river it was, but you see all these cool looking old school plants that never, and they're just empty. The roads there were empty. When you drive down the streets in Charleroi, Pennsylvania, it's very similar to Flint, Michigan. It was empty, empty, empty. Then just not a thriving town, not a well-off town. Most people have fled Charleroi, and again, we want to bring those towns back. We want Middle America booming again. Let's see what else we got. Let's listen to this guy right here.
This lighter costs $25. So do you want to know the part that they're not telling you about tariffs? Here's the reality that nobody's talking about. Nobody. This lighter costs $25 in America to buy an American-made product, okay? China makes one, sells it for $20 here in America. Out of that $20, $5 goes to whoever in America sells it. $15 of it goes back to China. You buy the $25 one in America, all $25 stays in America. So now we want to say, let's balance this out, and we're going to put a 50% tariff on Chinese goods. Now this lighter costs $30 to sell in the United States. Now you have the U.S. made one at $25. It is cheaper. It's more expensive in the big picture. I get it. But it's now cheaper. So people are going to buy the American made one. 100% of the $25 that you spend stays in America, stays here. The demand increases for that business has to hire employees. When many businesses hire employees, that creates a supply shortage of employees, which make wages go up. Is this more expensive for the consumer in the short term? Yes, but you're getting a better product. You're getting a better product for your money, and the money is staying local. Okay, you're not funding these other countries and their businesses. That is the purpose behind all of this. Will we have a recession? Yes. Will prices go up in the short term? Yes. But the lagging effect is all of that money now stays here with us. It's not leaving the country, which gives us more money in the United States to go around for everybody. Of course, every nation in the world is going to say, we're being bad neighbors and bad business partners. Well, of course, we've made them rich. And now we as a people are suffering. We want our money back. Why is that so hard?
And again, people don't understand that. People don't understand. Rockstar 121 says, I remember when I was 10 years old, my grandpa told me, always buy American. If you don't, you are putting Americans out of business. This was 40 years ago. Yeah, I remember that talk too. And we kept saying, buy American, do this. And then you had ads for buying America. This is made in America. All that made in America stuff has kind of gone to the wayside. Trump kind of revitalized it for a little while, and then COVID hit. The China flu, the bioweapon that was released from a Chinese lab in Wuhan. But when it comes down to it, and again, I can speak from experience. Again, 22 years in the supply chain, in management of the supply chain, whether it was, I've ran multiple departments. I was a purchasing manager. I did negotiations. I took American product, things that we were buying from America. And in order to compete, because so much stuff was flooding the market. So let me give you an example. Let's say you work for a manufacturer, a heavy equipment manufacturer, and we're just going to use something simple. A bucket truck. There's literally manufacturers, all they do is build bucket trucks. And you know what that is? Like the back of your electric trucks, those people you see on telephone poles. So I'm just going to use an example. Let's say the bill of materials for that bill of materials is what it takes to manufacture that. We'll go light. We'll say it's 10,000 parts. That includes nuts, screws, bolts, sealants, hydraulics, batteries, whatever it takes to operate, pumps, motors. And you do that, and you're building it. You're American made. And not only are other companies in the United States trying to compete with you, so it's a race. Who can get a quality product to fit on that form, fit, and function to lower the cost to the consumer? I promise you, even though they don't know how to do their money, good example is cities buy those boom trucks, right? Cities, counties, everybody else. Well, they go out for competitive bids. And if they go out and they go to the plant and they check out those plants and they're like, well, this one worked good. This one worked good. They both got to the top in 38 seconds. That's good. They both have a 450-pound rating, but this one is 10% less. Well, that one that's 10% less imported the cylinders and all kind of product from China or other countries. We did that as a manufacturer because it was either that or close down the factory. And then you know what happened after that? Then those same things that we were building, China and other countries were building, not the parts, but the complete assembly. So a container would come over, it would hit the port in Long Beach, be undone. It would go to a manufacturer or a staging facility. They would put a couple finishing touches on it, probably because in the shipping container, it might be too wide. So they have it where you put 6 bolts together, and then it goes into the end consumer. 10% less than what America, the United States manufacturer could do it for. And then that keeps getting worse and worse and worse until even the made in America stuff is practically made in China or made in a foreign country. We want to prevent that from happening. So what happens? The manufacturers I used to work for, I think there's one manufacturer I worked for that's still there. There's another one that's still there, but they're mainly import-export. They bring in finished goods and they distribute finished goods. They put their stickers on them and then they go out to all these things. Trump wants to prevent that. Trump wants to prevent where when you get to work, and I've worked in manufacturing, you have to walk a half a block because there's so many production workers there building American-made equipment. You don't find that. And like I've told you guys before in the past, I might live in California, but Central California was big on manufacturing. All the ag equipment, we have the largest farm show in the world at the beginning of February. Most of that ag equipment was at one point built somewhere near Central California. There's still some of it that is. But guess what they're competing with? Let's say a harvest sprayer. They put a harvest sprayer on the back of a tractor. They pull through. They spray all their harvest sprays on the stuff. Well, you can buy one. I'm just using an example. I don't know what the price is. I don't remember anymore. 20 grand. Well, China's producing them, bringing them in, and selling them for 17. And like this gentleman just said, yeah, you'll get that distributor here that's going to make $1,700, let's say 10, 15% off that. But all that other money goes back to China, goes into their economy. And that's why you see that. But you know what? MSNBC and CNN know a lot more than those folks that have been doing this for a long time. And I told you before, the thing that sucks about this is if Democrats got on board, like we showed you the video yesterday of Chuck Schumer, and 2018 saying, yeah, we need to do this. We need to do this. If we did that, and we had more people on board to put America first, America made, it would scare the other countries more right now. Right now, Canada, Mexico, China, they're all looking to Democrats. Yes, fight Trump, stick up for us in China. And guess what the Democrats are doing? Just like they did with Ukraine, putting America last. Take a look at some of this other stuff. This is just so true.
If you American business, are you a foreign business? Here's what I think. America is rich. We buy a lot of stuff. President Trump is saying that if you American business, are you a foreign businesses want to sell in America, then move your business here and hire American workers. That's a laudable goal, and I support it.
Honorable goal, and he supports it. Take a look at this. Funny how this works. All of a sudden, within 24 hours, GM to increase U.S. truck production following Trump's tariffs. So in order to prove, and I know a lot of people haven't been in the manufacturing world, and I'm not trying to make you sound like that. I think you're stupid, but there is some libtards, especially now that we've been doing the Tesla protests, that are sitting there watching in their basement like, oh, I hate Oreo, so I'm going to educate them. When they increase their output of trucks, they have to hire more people. They have to buy more raw material that they have to buy from the United States because they don't want to pay for a tariff on their material. Again, that money circulates in the United States. Pretty simple. Pretty simple. Look what I think the next one. This was, we got another manufacturer that's showing the fake news that they are liars, and we'll show you that in a minute. Study. Even a modest 10% universal tariffs would lead to $728 billion in economic growth and 2.8 million new jobs, and generate $263 billion in new revenue to pay for tax cuts. This is specifically CPA's economic model simulation of a universal 10% tariff found the following, and it found exactly what I just told you right now. It would generate economic growth of 728 billion, 2.8 million additional jobs. Think about this. Real household income rise by 5.7%, equivalent to $4,200, making workers better off, which are more than offset a small initial price impact of 0.5 percentage point per year. There's a reason why CNN and fake news and ABC don't tell you this stuff. They don't want you educated. That's why I love that you can find this stuff. That's why I love podcasts. This is why they've tried to cancel it. Says Ford. This is from the White House. Guess what Ford announced? Ford will offer employee pricing to all U.S. shoppers. Says for 121 years, we've put our money where our mouth is, assembling vehicles that Americans rely on and supporting American jobs, Ford said in a statement. Look at that. So if you're in the market and you want a Ford, that's a pretty substantial discount. Pretty substantial discount. Employee pricing to all U.S. shoppers. I thought it was going to raise the price of a $30,000 car. That car would now be $36,000, but that $30,000 car just went to like $28,000. Yeah, they won't be showing you that on MSNBC. What do we got next, folks? What do we got next? We're 34 minutes in. Hey, guys, I want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Let me refresh this here. Thank you for everybody who supports us here at the OreoExpress.com. And I can't tell you enough how we appreciate you. Now, a lot of these news agencies are saying what? Oh, we didn't vote. They didn't vote for this. Trump people are saying they didn't vote for this. Are you kidding me? Trump has never changed his stance on making foreign countries pay their fair share. You know, Democrats love American citizens paying their fair share, don't they? If you're successful, if you're doing well, if you mortgage your home to start a business and that business grows and you employ 10,000 employees, they want to penalize you. They want to punish you. Trump wants to punish the foreign countries. Take a look at this. This is 1988. We've played this video numerous times over the years. Take a look at this video, 1988. This is when Oprah just loves some Trump.
Last year criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it, Oprah. Just forget about it. It's almost impossible. They don't have laws against it. They just make it impossible. They come over here, they sell their cars, their VCRs, they knock the hell out of our companies. And hey, I have tremendous respect for the Japanese people. I mean, you can respect somebody that's beating the hell out of you, but they are beating the hell out of this country. Kuwait, they live like kings. The poorest person in Kuwait, they live like kings. And yet they're not paying. We make it possible for them to sell their oil. Why aren't they paying us 25% of what they're making? It's a joke.
This sounds like political presidential talk to me. And I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Probably not. But I do get tired of seeing the country ripped off.
Why would you not?
I just don't think I really have the inclination to do it. I love what I'm doing. I really like it.
Also, it doesn't pay as well.
No, it doesn't. But, you know, I just probably wouldn't do it, Oprah. I probably wouldn't, but I do get tired of seeing what's happening with this country. And if it got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally because I really am tired of seeing what's happening with this country, how we're really making other people live like kings and we're not.
What do you think of this year's presidential race, the way it's shaping up?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. I think that probably George Bush has an advantage in terms of the election. I think that probably people would say that he's got like that little edge in terms of the incumbency, et cetera, et cetera. But I think Jesse Jackson's done himself very proud. I think Michael Dukakis has done one hell of a job. And George Bush has done a hell of a job. You know, they all went in there sort of as semi-underdogs, including George Bush, and they've all come out. I think people that are around all three of those candidates can be very proud of the jobs they've done.
Guess what, guys? He wasn't a Republican there. He was a registered Democrat. Again, Democrats, they weren't they weren't the party of Marxism at one time. That was 1988, almost 40 years ago. What is that, 37 years ago? Now, not the same. And listen to this, just to hit the
lever.
So true. Again, Donald Trump has been talking about this for a long time at all his rallies that I went to, and I went to numerous rallies. I think you guys know he said tariff, tariff, tariff. It's a beautiful name. If I get elected, we're going to put tariffs. We're going to build back America to the point where we can manufacture our own things. And you know what people did? We got the open borders. We got the high cost of living. The jobs suck in the United States these days. There's hardly any manufacturing anymore. We're going to vote for Trump. But listen to this. Listen to this. This guy hits it out of the park, too.
President Trump ran on tariffs. What we just saw was a president who did what he said he was going to do. The media said Trump is running on tariffs, and people said, we know that. Trump is running on bringing back manufacturing. People said, we know that. And they went and pulled the lever for him. This is mind-boggling to me that the media is focused on pain. You know, listen to me. I heard someone earlier today on another network say that countries send us wine, cheese, and Mercedes, and we give them a piece of paper, as if like we're getting the better end of the bargain. People sweat. They work hard. They sacrifice families. Families are broken up. People commit crimes for this piece of paper. It represents an investment, our life, our energy. It represents a lot. So we send it over there. We get all this plastic crap on this table. You know how that money comes back to this country? They buy this building. They buy our farms. Mm-hmm. This system is unsustainable. It's unsustainable. We have to figure it out. So if the American people can make a short-term, you know, hey, that beach ball costs 50 cents more, I won't buy it. This is what's really amazing to me. And unfortunately, I hear it on all our network and a lot of networks that somehow We all want a good GDP. We all want a good economy. But does it have to come at the expense? Is it patriotic to always stay in debt? Is it patriotic to spend my entire paycheck so that the economy is good? Is it patriotic so my kids can't afford to go to college? I don't have a retirement. I don't have a decent home. Is that patriotic? Is our patriotism tied to Wall Street, or should it be tied to our own personal ability to achieve the American dream?
Couldn't have said it better myself. So it's no surprise, guys. It's no surprise. But you know what is surprised is Biden's egg prices are falling even more. Look at that. 9% down from last week. The average price per dozen is $3, and it does fluctuate depending on where you were. I went to 2 stores. One, a dozen eggs was $4.12, and I go to the other store, and of course, it's California. There's always more expensive cost here in California because, again, our chickens have to have manicures. They have to be in like an 11 by 11 chicken sanctuary. They got to be able to roam for, you know what I'm talking about. And I think $4.12. And then the other one was like $6.50. And I just started laughing. I told Rach, look, we just seen those for $4. But again, going down thanks to an administration who's not out just slaughtering chickens. That doesn't fix the problem. And you don't hear about the bird flu anymore. How come CNN hasn't brought it up? Is it gone? Did Trump fix it and they don't want to give it credit? I don't know. Check this out. And this is something I can't understand.
Facing charges.
A school principal from Florida is facing shoplifting charges. A school principal. Like, what are you doing stealing? He allegedly tried to hide items to steal while doing self-checkout. Check out this little article. And again, I don't get it.
Facing charges, accused of trying to steal from a Walmart in Winter Haven. Body cam video shows Bach Academy principal Gregory Lewis being walked out of the store in handcuffs. Police say he tried to steal $36 worth of items by hiding them between several foam plates in the self-checkout line. The school says Lewis has been put on administrative leave pending a review.
Now, he'll play innocent. He'll play the victim. They'll say it's because Florida's racist or something. Get over it. But, man, I mean, principal got a pretty good salary coming in. You can afford stuff at Walmart. Makes no sense to me. Karen, thank you for sharing this out to all those sites. You all need to create a Blue Sky account. The Blue Cry is what we call it. That's where the pedos hang out. And just start sharing it there. So we talk about this, and there's a new guy in Colorado we're going to be exposing here shortly. Thinks he's a big man. But again, Colorado has a lot of groomers, and it's just unfortunate. We've spent some time in
Anything's going on. A doctor, my ex-wife said, I want my son to be put on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones. I am not allowed to talk to my child about any transgender issues. I'm not allowed to talk to him about the lawsuit that his mother brought up against me. I'm not allowed to contact any medical professionals that are treating my child. The reason for it is that my child is in distress. I wasn't able to take him to any independent psychiatric evaluation. The Truth Center admitted him after basically a 20-minute Zoom interview. First thing they did is they contacted my insurance. And that's really the only reason I even know anything's going on. A doctor, again, I use quotes, put this implant in. And that's where we are today. I will fight this decision. I don't know where this is going. I don't know if we're going to win. But I will do what I need to do to save my child because I'm a parent. And that's what parents do. This is what fathers do for their children.
That's just sickening, man. We've brought you some stories out of California. We've even brought one out of Texas. But Democrats are in Colorado Marxists in Colorado are now pushing HB 25-1312, which would take misgendering and dead naming into an account during custody hearings. If it wasn't so sad, it would be laughable. We got a chronic mental health epidemic going on in this country. We need to make mental institutions great again. It was actually a Republican that killed that, especially here in California, Ronald Reagan, that took away the funding for mental health. And I just, man, I couldn't imagine being that father. Couldn't imagine being that father, because as a father, and many of you as a mother, but as a father, it is our duty to protect our children, whatever that means. Whatever that means, I won't get into the details, but there should be an FAFO moment for those doctors. Texas is a mess. This is from Brianna Morello. The Texas House opened prayer asking the Lord to support those advocating for transgender children and illegal aliens while opposing the efforts of many Republicans. And we told you, Texas is going downhill fast. Texas is going downhill fast. Listen to this.
Woe to you who are rich, for you
This isn't
have
a prayer.
received your... And where their service is unfaithful, we beg for your forgiveness. They know not what they do. God, forgive them for placing party over people. Forgive them for lining their pockets and campaigns with bribes from billionaires. Forgive them for caring more about re-election than about the people they are elected to serve. Lead them to repentance, to turn toward you, the God who through Jesus Christ reminds us, blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh. Blessed are you when people hate you and when they exclude you and revile you and defame you. But woe to you who are rich, for you have received your consolation. God, save these leaders from the temptations of evil and give them the moral courage to stand with the poor, the hungry, and the grieving. We pray especially for the most vulnerable people in our state, our children. Guide these lawmakers to protect all our Texas children, regardless of religion, race, socioeconomic status, gender identity, disability, citizenship, by funding and supporting our neighborhood public schools with the abundant resources at their disposal. Help them to see in each child's face their own children's faces, their own grandchildren's faces. Help them to make the education they want for their loved ones a reality for every single child in our great state, without exception. For those who harbor fear and reticence that comes from those with even greater power, we ask for your courage and protection. For those who are actively working against...
I don't know. They try to, but Texas is in a world of hurt. They should be praying for the mental health of these little children and these abusers and these pedophiles that are so interested in children's genitals. That's what we need. Hey, what does it say in the Bible about that? I know what it says. Tie a millstone
our
around
most
their
vulnerable
neck
children, we ask for
and
repentance.
let them go swimming. These people are just absolutely horrendous. You know what? Kathy Richardson, thank you for the Cash App. I appreciate you, Kathy. Hopefully we get out to Ohio soon and I get to see you again. And UP True Breed says, I hate you, Josh. Be blessed. Thank you for the Rumble rant. I appreciate it, guys. Again, it's 100% you guys that keep us going. It's 100% our viewers. And thank you, Kathy and UP True Breed. I, again, can't do it without you guys. As you guys know, it's the first of the month, and we always struggle to get the bills paid for the month. So thank you guys for helping out and appreciate you. And you know there's going to be some great live streams coming with some triggered folks throughout the month of April. So I just want to say thank you, appreciate you guys. And it's an honor and a blessing to have your guys' support. So thank you. Texas. Well, there was some other stuff going on in Texas too that we're gonna get to. Is this in the right spot? Yeah, we're gonna. Again, guys. I just want to let you know, in case you guys haven't been watching the news over the last like 8 years, white supremacy is going to be the destruction of the United States, and we're going to show you some of that in a minute. But alert! Who remembers this guy? Let's see. Who remembers this guy? Well, we got another one that's been caught. We've got another one that's been caught. That was Rafael Hernandez was arrested and charged with criminal mischief for keying a Tesla at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport. The Tesla owner is now suing him. FAFO, Rafael Hernandez. Thank you for playing along with us. And then check this one out. I seen this yesterday. This was just great. Again, arrested. And I want you to look at the people there and say, a lot of soy in these so-called males. Wonder if they're straight men or not. Again, just watch the video and then listen to the movie they went and seen.
Pink hair.
This was epic.
40. So it took about 10 minutes for my Cybertruck was attacked by an Elon Musk hater in broad daylight.
Pieces of shit, dude. That's my fucking car. That's your car? Yeah. What the hell is your friend's problem? You guys are fucking idiots.
So get this. These guys park right behind my truck, attack it, and leave. But that's so dumb because everyone knows the Tesla records everything. And not to mention, I was literally standing 15 feet away from my truck. Who would do this? What a dumbo. So I immediately assessed the damage, called 911, and secretly followed them to the place they were going.
White dude, pink hair. 40.
So it took about 10 minutes for the cops to arrive. They questioned me, so I showed them the videos.
It's got to be an Elon Musk violation or something.
It is, yeah.
And they asked, do you know where he went? I said, yes. He and his friends went to the movie theater.
Got 50 out here. The boys went into the movie theater, so we're going to see what happens.
Turns out they were watching Death of a Unicorn, so the cops went in, paused the entire movie, and told the guy, you need to come with us.
Not so funny now, he's a big man.
The police asked if I wanted to press charges, and I said, absolutely. This is going to be a few $1,000s in damages for sure. And plus, Elon Musk haters need to be taught a lesson.
Look at these guys. They're the friends chilling there, waiting. I don't know why.
Most people get away with vandalism, but not this guy. We got him. Thanks, Elon.
Oh, wow. What's up, bro?
Oh my gosh, that was epic. I just love it. And then they were inside watching Death of a Unicorn. I let Rachel watch that watch that movie. She's like, Death of a Unicorn. And again, these are the same people. I don't know. These are all the same people. The people that are protesting Teslas, the activists that have been out at everything, are the same ones that want pornography in your libraries, in your children's school. They still want they want the teacher to be able to keep secrets from the parents. These are all disgusting, despicable, detestable individuals. But Death of a Unicorn. Hold on really quick. This is the I wonder if it'll let me. I don't know if I can blow it up right there. Death of a Unicorn is a 2025 American comedy horror film written and directed by Alex Sharfman. It stars Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega as a father and his daughter who accidentally kill a unicorn, causing them to be hunted down by its parents. Wow. I could tell you if me and the guys don't go watch movies. I'm just going to let you know that right now. Trying to think the last time I seen a movie with a buddy. I can't. I think it was one time. I think it was with Quincy because he wanted to watch while we were on the People's Convoy and we had a day off and some movie came out. But yeah. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. But Death of a Unicorn. Hopefully that Death of a Unicorn screening will result in maybe 30 days in jail. Austin Metcalf, say his name. Say his name. This post is from End Wokeness. High achieving student, athlete, 4.0 GPA, killed in cold blood by Carmelo Anthony. And I just want to show you I'll show you this picture here in a minute and let you know, you already know because you haven't seen the story, which one is the victim and which one is the cold-blooded murderer. Because if it would have been the other way around, this would have raised national concern. This is just an absolutely crazy story. I started reading up on it last night. Austin Metcalf also had an identical twin. We're going to get to that in a minute. But I just want to show you two of the differences here and why the media is not covering it. Rest in peace, Austin Metcalf. Burn in hell to the other person that just murdered. This is what happened. It says Carmelo Anthony, 17, has been charged with murder for fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. This is from iMeme Zero. The attack occurred at a high school track meet in Fresno, Texas. Austin died in his twin brother's arms. There will be no protest, riots, or politicians kneeling in front of a golden casket. There will be no statues, murals, or streets named after Austin. So apparently there was somebody was sitting in the wrong spot. I guess this was over a chair. And Carmelo Anthony decided to stab Austin Metcalf in the heart, killing him. Again, Austin Metcalf died in his twin brother's arm. But again, don't forget, Biden and all the Democrats say white supremacy is the biggest threat to this country. Again, another lie by the Democrats. Listen to this.
But then I look at my brother, and then there was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. Asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So just that's just what I saw. And I tried to help him, but
it was just senseless.
It was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was strong.
As we used to say, if Obama had a son, right? It's disgusting because there is no national outrage. This isn't breaking news. And if it would have been Austin that did that to this person, it would have been national headlines. We'd be talking about it for weeks. We would have bills on the House floor in the name of the person because of the color of his skin, not because of the actions that happened. And prayers to that family, man. These you ask yourself, I don't think we're shocked after all the things we've covered on this show. You look at what's going on in the schools. You look how they're no longer educational centers. They're no longer discipline centers. At one point when you screwed around in school, I could tell you growing up in Clovis, man, you back in the day, you didn't want to mess up. They weren't going to let you be a jackass and continue disrupting others. They weren't going to let you be violent. They weren't going to let you be all these other things. And what we're seeing now is the fruit of these Democrat policies. And this is sick, man. This is sick. So prayers to Austin Metcalf's family. And again, you won't be hearing about this on your local news. It's just common for 17-year-olds to stab each other at a track meet. We don't need to hear about that, right? But you will hear about tariffs. Now, check this out. As we promised you earlier, Alex, I'm just going through some of the tweets here. Laura Loomer meets with President Trump, talks about some of what I think most of us would call traitors throughout his staff. And people were making fun of Laura Loomer for this, guys. Even there's people on the right that, and again, there's a lot of what I call bought and paid for MAGA. They're not out on the streets. They haven't been doing this. They don't sacrifice to do anything. They make a lot of money just doing their shows. You won't catch them out doing what we do. And they've been against Laura Loomer for a while. And I get it. She has some unconventional ways of doing things, but her story gets across and her point gets across. And if I had to say it, just like us here at Oreo Express, it seems like Laura Loomer is hashtag always winning. Says this one here said President Trump. Oh, not that one. I don't want to give you that one yet. I had these out of orders. So Republicans against Trump, and I'm going to be bringing these people up more often because they're not Republicans against Trump. They have nothing in their body that's conservative. This is a far left group that's trying to act like they're Republicans against Trump. But listen to this. New Laura Loomer, the far-right activist and promoter of conspiracy theories, met on Wednesday with Donald Trump in the Oval Office, where she pressed him to fire National Security Council staff members whom she deemed disloyal to him, the New York Times reports. And then he puts, how's this real life? Because, again, these folks, these libtards, guess what they want? They want all the disloyal people around President Trump. They don't want these people. They don't want these people to be gone. They don't want everybody in Trump's cabinet, everybody in Trump's team to be MAGA, Make America Great Again. And so they're triggered. Well, I was looking up, and at first when I started reading these stories, I was like, here comes some more left-wing hoaxes. Let's listen into Laura.
I know who is disloyal. I just think that there needs to be more. I just think that
Now, before I do this, before I put this on, I want to remind you that Laura Loomer, if you follow her and you read her stuff, she had been put on Trump's team. And some of Trump's team ensured that she was gone. I think that was a big mistake by Trump. I'm just going to tell you this now. If you want somebody to investigate something and do the hard work and the dirty work and vet these people, Trump has nobody in his administration as good as Laura Loomer. And I'm just going to say it, whether you like her or not. Take a listen to this.
I just think that there needs to be more appreciation demonstrated to Trump loyalists because unfortunately, we do see a lot of gatekeeping in the GOP. And the thing that I harped on the most during the campaign season was, the importance of vetting. We need to vet people so that we don't have the same nightmare that we saw happen in the first administration, where people who are disloyal to President Trump curry favor once the election's over after, shit talking him the entire election season. And then they just get to go, oh, you know what? I'm going to sneak in and I'm going to reap all the benefits and the glory and the praise of getting a White House job.
Sure.
I thought that we were keeping a binder full of receipts. I don't know if some of the people on the campaign meant it when they said they were keeping the receipts, but I meant it.
Yeah.
I literally have a binder of receipts.
And that she does. And she, when it comes to exposing, she's exposed a lot of these corrupt judges. She's exposed the ties between their family members and the NGOs that the judges are protecting. I mean, when a judge says, oh, you can't deport these people, and then the judge's wife or the judge's daughter works for an NGO that gets, hundreds of millions of dollars in your taxpayer dollars to keep promoting this open border agenda and taking care of illegals instead of American citizens. And this was pretty epic. And then Alex Stone, I noticed this. Breaking. President Trump has just fired 3 White House national security staffers after meeting with Laura Loomer yesterday. Yeah. It happened. I looked at this and I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, I want you to show you how triggered the left is, because CNN, MSNBC, they want those people in the Trump administration. Take a look at this.
That's the times that he disagreed with it. And so anyway, but on this, it is important to note that Laura driving this. She is a far-right activist. She is someone who said that if Vice President Harris won the White House during the election, that it would smell like curry. Those were comments that were denounced by Republican allies of the president, including Vance at the time, said he disagreed with it. And so she is the one who's really driving this, and it speaks to the level of influence.
And let's talk about the impact on national security, who they are, and why this matters so much for how the national security of the United States of America is run and who's doing it.
Well, what's fascinating about this is that the 3 staffers that have been fired here are outside of Washington Beltway national security circles. These are pretty anonymous people. They are foreign policy minds that have serious resumes, that have worked serious jobs on Capitol Hill, in the State Department, in...
Listen to this. Listen to how she tries to do, well, these people are outside the Beltway, blah, blah, blah. Brian Walsh, a director for intelligence, who is not loyal to MAGA or to President Trump. Thomas Boudry, a senior director for legislative affairs. And David Feith, I think that's how you say his last name, F-E-I-T-H, Feith, a senior director overseeing technology and national security. And CNN just said, oh, these people aren't even involved. Don't know why they're even looking at them. I love CNN. I love CNN. They put it up on their screen.
In think tanks, these are people that are well known in national security circles because they are longtime practitioners of foreign policy, experienced in making that kind of policy. These are the people that are sort of engaged in the nitty gritty of actually designing national security policy for the president. But they're not big public figures. They're people like Brian Walsh, who was who ran intelligence programs for the White House, who formerly worked for Senator Marco Rubio when he was chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. You had a senior director who worked on technology issues for the National Security Council, and you had the head of legislative affairs for the National Security Council. So again, not people that are sort of big public names that you're hearing on cable news all day long. And I think it really speaks to this kind of lesson that the president felt that he learned out of his first administration of being managed up by these faceless bureaucrats.
Thank you both for your reporting.
Thank you both for your reporting. Thank you. I appreciate it. Without you guys, we wouldn't see the hypocrisy. This one here says, it was from Laura Loomer, and she posted this. She goes, Mr. Trump may act on some of Miss Loomer's recommendation. 2 of the people said. Miss Loomer walked into the White House with a sheet of papers, which amounted to a mass of opposition research attacking the characters and loyalty of numerous national security officials. 2 of the people said. She proceeded to excoriate them in front of their boss, the National Security Advisor, Michael Walsh, who was also in the meeting. Oh, man, Laura. Man, we need to do a campaign. I'm not even lying. We need to get Laura permanently on the White House staff as advisor to the president on staff matters. I don't know what the technical term is. I'll figure that out. I'll ask Rock. And we're going to do like a change.org petition and send it to Trump because this woman is just epic. And you know why there's a lot of things where I feel like there's very few journalists or very few people in the MAGA movement that's quite like Laura. Like I said, again, all they want to do is call people conspiracy theorists, call them Nazis, call them this. You know what? Was she right that if we elected an Indian into the White House, Kamala Harris, that it might smell like curry? Oh, no. Oh, no. What the left hasn't realized yet is they only elevate. When I go to Blue Sky and I see people posting stuff, and then I noticed our website gets more hits, we get more followers, it only helps us out. And they haven't learned that yet. Defame me. Say bad things. You guys don't want to miss our next show. I'm telling you, next show, we're going to go through some of that. Ryan Grimm said this. It says, Laura Loomer tells Drop Site News, out of respect for President Trump and the privacy of the Oval Office, I'm going to decline in divulging any details about my Oval Office meeting with President Trump. It was an honor to meet with President Trump and present him with the research findings. I will continue to work hard to support his agenda, and I will continue reiterating the importance of strong vetting for the sake of protecting the president and our national security. And then this one, this is in relation to this. Several members of President Trump's embattled National Security Council have been fired on Thursday, per a U.S. official and a second source familiar with. That's great when you know all these people that have given Laura Loomer, and again, I wouldn't say that, you know, there's MAGA that gets paid for posting, right? You can see this, just like the Harry Sissons of the world, and they all match their post. And some of them are good people, some of them. But what happened about 2 weeks ago, and I think we might have covered it, we might not have, but I think it was, what's his name? Nick Sortor did a post about it. These agencies that pay people to post stuff posted how it was tyranny, and I'm not my exact words, but to do a soda ban through EBT. You know, they're looking at, if you're getting taxpayer-funded benefits, to take away the sugar and all the junk food out of your abilities to buy that. Because if the taxpayer's not paying for you to have 4 12-packs of soda, we want you to eat healthy. By eating healthier, again, you're saving Americans money by being healthier, blah, blah, blah. We've talked about it numerous times. And there was a group of, what was it? There's a group about 4 or 5 that got caught that are all pro-MAGA, putting out almost the identical post. And they got called out. A couple of them apologized, said that was their mistake or whatever. But then you go back and you look at their thread, how many other things are promoted because they're paid for? And again, when you talk about MAGA, there's a lot of us. Ben Bergquam's one of them. Will Johnson's one of them that were MAGA before MAGA existed. You can go back and look up videos when the Tea Party was around. These people, you see them in newspaper articles. They were creating MAGA as it is today. It says, Laura Loomer put this out. Says exactly 1 hour before he received the termination email, Laura Loomer posted on social media about Mr. Scheffler, calling him a Biden holdover, and it says more to come. Let's listen to MSNBC.
Mr. Schleifer, calling him, quote, a Biden to new depths with the purging of career officials inside U.S. attorneys' offices across the country. The New York Times reports that 2 long-term prosecutors were fired last week with 0 warning or heads up, and with only one explanation given. They were being fired on behalf of Donald Trump personally. According to the New York Times, quote, one of the prosecutors, Adam Schleifer, was sitting at his computer on Friday morning working on a case against the founder of Fatburger. While he was writing, he received an email from a White House official saying that he had been terminated. No reason was cited. Shocked and confused by the message, Mr. Schleifer asked supervisors if the email was some kind of hoax. He quickly discovered that his work phone had been reset and he could no longer use office devices. The New York Times reports this, quote, exactly 1 hour before he received the termination email. The far-right influencer, Laura Loomer, posted on social media about Mr. Schleifer, calling him, quote, a Biden holdover.
I'm just going to tell you, this gives me a lot of hope because I do follow some of Laura Loomer and other great investigative journalist stuff, talking about some of the people that are currently in the Trump White House. We can't make the same mistake we made in 2016 with Democrats or Marxists like Bill Barr and many others. How many remember Reince Priebus when he was in the White House? And there was all these leaks at the beginning of 2017. And as soon as Trump let him go, the leaks stopped. There's a lot of people like that, and we need to ensure. And once again, I want to say thank you again to Up True Breed. He says, I hate you. Be blessed. Thank you. Thank you. And Chatty Cathy as well. Your donations extremely help us out. We are 100% viewer funded, and I want to say thank you. Let's Look at this from Laura Loomer. If you worked with the spies who lied for years, all while knowing what they did while on CIA payroll during the 2020 election to run cover for Hunter Biden, yes, you have no business being at the NSC. I'm committed to protecting President Trump and his administration from bad actors. And here we go. This is from a March 28th post that Laura did. Former CIA chief Michael Morrell, who wrote ex-spy letter dismissing the post-Hunter Biden laptop reports, told signers he'd clear it with agency in record time. Yeah, that's not a guy you want on the Trump team. Take a look at that. That's not a guy you want on the Trump team. Beacon Global Strategies congratulates Ivan Kanapathy, appointed as Senior Director for Asia on the National Security. And she's blowing this one up too. Beacon Global Strategies is proud to announce that Senior Vice President Ivan Kanapathy has been appointed as Senior Director for Asia at the National Security Council. In this role, Ivan will serve as White House lead and inter-agents policy coordinator. What else? There he is. And calling him out. And that was on March 28th. And her post was Trump admin vetting failure exposed. So let's get Laura Loomer in there. Let's pay her a decent salary. But don't take her away from all the posts. I like some of the posts, and I want to see her out there. I don't want her just all tied up and gone from public view. We need her reporting. But, man, it's crazy to see that. Kudos to Laura Loomer. Thank you, Laura Loomer, for your hard work. Sacrifice. It is a sacrifice. She, just like anybody that goes out and puts their face out there on behalf of the MAGA movement or anything else, the lies, the attacks, everything else. Not very many people can handle it. If you look and you go, when we started live streaming and we would go to Portland or we would go to the California State Capitol where things would get crazy, there was probably 30 live streamers out there. And then they started getting doxxed. Their family members started getting doxxed. And now you go there, you're lucky to get 2 actual live streamers that's been doing this for a while. And again, I'm a big fan of, I love the podcast. I love doing the website, but nothing fills my brain like if something's going on somewhere and I'm stuck at home or I'm doing shopping somewhere and I can pull up and see what's happening live at hand. There is nothing like that. I don't want to see 5 minutes of a video, a conclusion of what happens like the fake news does. You know, there's a 5-hour protest and they sum it up in 60 seconds and give their thing. That's why we are always live. We don't edit. We might take clips out like we did for the Fresno State professor and put those up. But the whole context is always on live. And that is because of you guys. Yesterday we talked about, and we're not spending a whole lot of time on this. Yesterday we talked about the fake news. I think it was ABC, TMZ, and all the others stating that Trump and Elon Musk were done. Elon Musk going to be leaving Doge. And then we said none of them actually. I think even Roz Alert, that weirdo, was doing it as well on X, just trying to get those clicks instead of waiting and trying to find out what the true information was. Well, that's what we did, and we researched and looked. Carolyn Leavitt, the White House press secretary, said that this was a bogus scoop. And then it looks like J.D. Vance has also confirmed that.
I want to get to some other news because there were some reports that came out that Elon Musk is leaving. Now, of course, the president had already said he was only going to be here for a temporary basis.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Doge will continue after Elon Musk. Will he still be an advisor to you and the president? I know y'all have a great relationship. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, that report I saw was total fake news. Yeah. Elon came in and we said, we need you to make government more efficient. We need you to shrink the incredible, vast bureaucracy that thwarts the will of the American people, but also costs way too much money. And we said that's going to take about 6 months. And that's what Elon signed up for. But of course, he's going to continue to be an advisor. And by the way, the work of Doge is not even close to done. The work of Elon is not even close to done. You look at all of the fraudulent grants that they found. You look at people who are 150 years old, who are fraudulently collecting Social Security payments. You see our Social Security system, 40% of the people who are calling in are actually committing fraud. That means the 60% who need their Social Security checks are waiting in line. Doge has got a lot of work to do. And yeah, that work's going to continue after Elon leaves. But fundamentally, Elon is going to remain a friend and an advisor of both me and the president. And he's done a lot of good things. People don't realize how vast and uncontrolled the bureaucracy was. We've started to chip away at it, but there's a lot of work to do. It's not going to happen all in 6 months. It's going to take a long and committed effort.
Once again, as we called it yesterday on the show, just people putting stuff out there for clickbait. It's funny. Trump's War Room posted this today, and it says 174 criminal illegal aliens deported to Mexico, 83 drug trafficking, 49 theft, 24 gang members, 22 human smuggling, 2 homicide-related offenses, 4 rape or sexual assault, 5 child sex offenses. And it says, why are Democrats fighting for this? And we can't figure that out. It's beyond. They need these people to maintain power and control. I thought this was interesting. Bill Malugin shared this. It says, new Democrats will visit the southern border tomorrow. Rep. Benny Thompson, a Democrat, ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee, will lead a delegation to Border Patrol San Diego sector on Friday to conduct oversight of Trump admin border policies firsthand. Here's who's going. Rep. Benny G. Thompson, Rep. Lou Correa, Rep. Delia Ramirez, Rep. LaMonica McKelver, Rep. Tim Kennedy, Rep. Nellie Poo, and Rep. Sarah Jacobs. Conduct oversight of Trump's admin border policies. Now, I just want to let you know, guys, we've been to the border numerous times when there was tens of thousands of illegals coming across our southern border, and none of them wanted to take a visit out there. And Bill puts this out. Despite being the chairman of Homeland Security Committee at the time, Congressman Thompson had no interest in discussing the border crisis with me on Capitol Hill when I went to D.C. in October 2022. Take a look at this.
Alejandro Mayorkas. I'm Bill Chairman, one question. In your opinion, is the border secure?
I have to go give a speech. Didn't you hear me?
I heard you. Okay. It's a quick question. Is the border secure? Answers about the border few and far between from some Democrats on Capitol Hill, including the Secretary of Homeland Security. Chairman, one question. In your opinion, is the border secure?
I have to go give a speech. Didn't you hear me?
I heard you. Okay. It's a quick question. Is the border secure?
Yes or no?
Answers about the border few and far between from some Democrats on Capitol Hill, including the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas.
I'm Bill Malugin with Fox News. Do you have a few moments to talk about the border real quick?
I'm sorry, I don't. A week before this, we sent this email to DHS, notifying them we would be in D.C. and we were requesting an interview with the Secretary. We received no response, so we went to him.
A few moments of your time is all we're asking for, and we'll let you go. Reached out to your office, asked to talk to you last week. They blew us off.
I appreciate it.
It's 900,000 gotaways.
Have a good day. Thank you.
No comment, sir. Chairman, one question.
So now they want to go. So now I can't wait. I wish I would have known about this sooner. I would go to San Diego tomorrow or tonight and just call out these scumbags because that's exactly what they are. So now we know that Benny Thompson, ranking member of the House Homeland Security Committee, is going to go down to, of all places, San Diego, and lead delegations to Border Patrol's San Diego sector on Friday to conduct oversight of Trump admin policies firsthand. So they're going to scream racism. They're going to scream this is inhumane. This is their next step. Obviously, we're reading it ahead of time. Clip this. I will promise you when we get some press well, these people, blah, blah, blah. There's no water set up here. Where's the food for these people crossing over illegally? It's going to be epic. And again, guys, I want to say thank you for tuning in. We will be live a little later. Listen, we are 100% viewer funded. If you want to help us out, again, it's the first of the month. We got a lot of bills to pay, lights, camera, action, travel. All that is funded by you. And I want to say thank you. If you do want to help us out, Venmo at Oreo Josh, Cash App, $Oreo Army. We also have givesendgo.com. That is /Oreo 2024. That's givesendgo.com /Oreo 2024. It's right there. And then if you prefer Zelle, you can go to our website, theoreoexpress.com, and scroll down. There's a donate now button. And again, I have a conference call with some great patriots here. We got a meeting for a foundation we're part of. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I will do everything in my power to go live as soon as I can. I want to say thank you to everybody that's tuned in. And again, we can't do it without you guys. So have a great afternoon, and we will see you here. Make sure you are following and subscribed. Once again, UP Tree Breed and Kathy Richardson, thank you so much for your support.